Welcome to our regular news forum. Gagawin natin two parts ang ating forum ngayon. Ano? Kasi si Senator JB Ejercito magagaling pa sa parang radio interview sa Pasay. So, we expect him between 10:30 siguro and 11. Anyway, nandito rin si Kabataan Party List Representative Sarah Jane Elago na to enlighten us on yung issue ng statement ni National Youth Commission Chair Ronald Cardema na pinopropose niya. He was urging President Dept to cancel yung scholarship ng mga anti-Duterte students. Anti-government scholars. Yung actual ano niya.
Yun po ang wording.
Tapos, meron din siyang earlier suggestion o proposal to make the 400,000 sangguniang kabataan members, to take an active part in basically intelligence work, di ba? To report to authorities yung mga estudyante na perceived critics of the government na inangalan din ng iba't ibang sektor. Anyway, tanong natin sa kanya, ano yung official stand ng Kabataan Party List dito sa usapin na ito? Tapos, siguro, ano yung dapat naging mandate talaga ng National Youth Commission na parang hindi naman yata dapat executive ang function nila na mag policy making tapos mga activities na directly geared towards the active involvement of the youth in national affairs, rather than making it a tool for intelligence work ng gobyerno. So, sige, simulan natin. Ano yung official na statement niyo on Cardema's statement?
First and foremost, I'd like to greet everyone a pleasant morning and maraming salamat po sa pag-imbita sa Kabataan Party List ngayon upang magbigay ng aming pahayag at posisyon hinggil sa proposal ni NYC Chair Cardema. Ang sabi po sa kanyang proposal as chairman of the National Youth Commission, I am requesting our head of government, the Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, to issue an executive order removing the government scholarships of all anti-government scholars. Nakasama rin po dito yung pagdidirekta sa mga miyembro at officials ng Sangguniang Kabataan, ng ROTC at ng CAT to report scholars who are perceived members of the leftist groups. So, unang-una po, ito ay walang pakundangan na paglabag sa ating konstitusyon. It violates the rights to free speech, due process, equal protection, and education. Ito po ay mariing kinukundina ng kabataan na ang NYC Chair pa mismo ang magpapanukala at magtutulak ng isang proposal na hindi lamang labag sa ating konstitusyon, kundi naglalagay sa panganib sa mga scholar at sa mga kabataan. Napakaraming mga mabibigat na mga issue ng mga kabataan na kinakailangan na aksyonan ng NYC bilang isang yung primary na policy-making body ng ating gobyerno na may kinalaman sa youth promotion and development. Ito din ay labag sa mandato nito na i-ensure yung malawakang participation ng mga kabataan sa iba't ibang affairs. Hindi lamang sa government, kundi sa mga eskwelahan, sa mga communities kung saan nandyan ang mga kabataan. Ayan, kaya makikita natin na negative na example yung naging proposal na yan sa youth leadership, sa youth and student leadership dahil nilalagay niya sa general suspicion lahat ng mga estudyante, mga scholar ng bayan, mga kabataan na nagpapahayag ng kanilang oposisyon, ng kanilang mga posisyon sa iba't ibang mga issue. Pagtutol sa mga pamamaslang nakaugnay ng gera kontra droga, pagtutol sa pagsirit ng presyo ng mga bilihin, pagtutol sa kontraktualisasyon sa sistemang endo, at minamaliit niya yung mga matagal ng panawagan ng mga kabataan para sa pagrespeto sa karapatan, para sa libreng pampublikong edukasyon sa lahat ng antas, para sa pagtaas ng sahod, para sa pagbabasura ng lahat ng mga patakaran na nagsasamantala sa mga manggagawa. Kaya hindi lamang dapat bawiin ni NYC Chair Cardema ang proposal na ito. Kailangan na ata niyang mag-isip kung dinadala niya pa ba sa tamang direksyon ang National Youth Commission. At kung hindi, dapat niya nang tugunan yung malawakang panawagan ngayon na siya ay umalis na sa kanyang pwesto ngayon. Anito lamang, nagsabi siya na hindi daw siya magre-resign. Ngunit hanggat siya ay nariyan at lalo pang tumatagal sa kanyang pwesto, lalo ring nanganganib yung karapatan, yung kalagayan at yung mga kapakanan ng mga kabataan.
So may categorical statement siya na hindi siya magre-resign unless ordered with the President to do so.
Perhaps.
Kung ganon, ano yung stand ng kabataan?
Dahil nga siya ay nagbibigay ng mga posisyon na contrary and inconsistent dun sa mismong mandato ng NYC, which is, for the record, I'd like to share ito po, part and parcel ng kanilang objectives as a commission. First is to provide the leadership in the formulation of policies, in the setting of priorities and direction of all youth promotion and development programs and activities. Second is to encourage wide and active participation of the youth in all governmental and non-governmental programs, projects, and activities affecting them. And then third, to harness and develop the full potential of the youth as partners in nation building. And lastly, to supplement government appropriations for youth promotion and development with funds from other sources. So, hindi kataka-taka na nakatanggap talaga ng hindi lang pagkondena, kundi mga calls for resignation ang naging proposal ni NYC Chair Cardema. Sa panahon pa na yung mga scholarship programs, mga college financial assistance programs ay humaharap ngayon sa malalaking budget cuts. Ang mga SUCs, kung saan nag-aaral ang mga scholar ng bayan, humaharap din yan sa halos zero ang budget para dun sa pagpapagawa ng mga bagong facilities at pag-expand ang capacity nila para mas maraming scholar ng bayan ang makapasok. Ginawa rin itong proposal na ito sa harap ng napakarami ngayong mga maneuvers para limitahan yung makikinabang dun sa libreng edukasyon. So, mas pinapahirapan ang mga scholar ng bayan upang makapasok sa mga SUCs natin at maraming dinadagdag ng mga rekisito na labag doon sa espiritu ng batas na libreng public tertiary education sa lahat yan ng SUCs, lahat ng CHED accredited LUCs. Ayan, kaya nagdududa talaga tayo sa katwiran at dun sa tunay na dahilan kung bakit ito ay tinutulak ng NYC Chair. Hindi ito tungkol sa pagsuporta sa Duterte administration, kundi ito ay tungkol sa pagpapatahimik sa mga estudyante, sa mga scholar ng bayan, sa mga eskwelahan na nasa unahan ng pagtutol sa killings, yan, sa krisis sa ating ekonomiya ngayon at nasa unahan nung panawagan na pakinggan yung boses ng kabataan at ng sambayan.
Magkano ang budget ng NYC? Alam
National
niyo?
Youth Commission nasa 100 million. At tumaas na yan from the previous years because of lobbying also. Lobbying para sa training, sa research work.
Ilan yung staff nila?
Ngayon,
Would you know?
alam ko they're still highly understaffed. And that's why yung representation ng kabataan, we lobbied for them to have an office. We lobbied for them to have a more staff. I-strengthen yung commission. And kaya, isang malaking disgrace sa NYC at disservice sa youth ang ginagawa ni NYC Chair Cardema na imbes na proteksyonan ng mga kabataan, siya pa yung pangunahin na nag-aatake sa kapakanan ng mga kabataan by proposing this recommendation.
Bakit nga ba nag-resign yung dati, yung pinalitan niya ano? Would you know the inside story behind the resignation? Ay, sa Segera. Parang suddenly, nag-resign na lang siya without any explanation. Does this have anything to do with political sa organization?
Diyan po wala po akong knowledge eh. But I'd like to echo the sentiment also of the poll watchdog Cardema as regards NYC Chair Cardema being the leader of the Dept youth, who's also running for a party list position. A negative example, yung pinapakita niya na pinagtatanggol pa yung mga political dynasties. Doon sa kanyang sinabi na okay lang naman kung wife niya yung first nominee ng Duterte Youth Party List at kamag-anak niya rin yung isa pang nominee. So, kailangan po itong pag-aralan. So, sinusuportahan namin yung panawagan na dapat itong imbestigahan yung conflict of interest na nagagamit yung posisyon and to further the political interest at yung electioneering.
I understand parang meron din siyang endorsement ng mga senatorial candidates sa administration. Meron ba siyang actual statement na gano'n? Because kung meron, that would constitute electioneering tsaka politicking.
Kung meron man po, ang COMELEC po ang tinatawagan natin na natignan itong kasong ito. Will support the efforts of Cardema. Sila naman po, they're an independent poll watchdog. So, yung kanilang panawagan, lahat naman, dapat tayong magbigay ng fair na space dito sa election para yung mga walang boses, yung mga nanggaling naman sa marginalized and oppressed sectors ng societies natin, yung magkaroon ng boses dito sa party list. Otherwise, talagang naaabuso lang ng mga malalaking pamilya, ng mga political dynasties, itong party list system natin.
So kung totoo nga yung Duterte Youth ang party list, yun ang official name nila.
Yes.
Tapos, yung nominees, yung wife niya, tsaka
The first nominees. So,
may relative pa siya
to
nga.
COMELEC na po. And Cardema to follow through on that matter.
Pero unless merong complaint, hindi ba dapat
Action na, dapat agaran itong action.
ng COMELEC?
Yes, at kung meron ding kasalukuyang mga nananawagan ng group on the use of official functions of the NYC to campaign for or give unfair exposure dun sa mga sinusuportahan nila ng mga kandidato. So, ito ay nangangailangan ng atensyon at nangangailangan na agaran din ang assessment mula sa mga relevant na agencies.
Ma'am, pinapilit ni Secretary Cardema yung pagbabalik ng ROTC.
USEC. Is officially a USEC, di ba? Ng DILG.
First of all, yung wording nung proposal kay President Duterte, nagpapakita ng intent to control the students and the youth by directing. Yun po yung ginamit na word. The NYC, as I've shared earlier, has no administrative authority over sangguniang kabataan. May kanya-kanya po itong mga kapangyarihan at mandato. At ang NYC chair ay maaari dun sa kanyang proposal nang-aabuso na, no? Or nag-go beyond dun sa kanyang kapangyarihan. At ang mensahe sa kanya ng kabataan, no, hindi kami magbubulag-bulagan, hindi kami magbibini-binihan, at mananatili na tahimik sa harap ng mga abuso, ng injustisya na nakikita natin sa lipunan. Lalong-lalo na sa loob ng mga pamantasan, no? Pinag-aaralan natin dyan yung iba't ibang mga issue. At kung nangangailangan ng organized na position, na action, expression ng ating dissent, no? Yan ay kinakailangan para dun sa demokrasya ng ating bansa at dun sa mabuting pamamahala na nais natin na natularan ng lahat ng naghahangad maging public servant.
Ano so far sa tingin niyo ang nagawa ng NYC sa youth sector?
First, gusto ko po munang ibahagi yung tungkol sa pagtutol namin sa mandatory ROTC. Yung chair po kasi ng NYC ay isa rin sa mga nagsusulong nito and active na naglo-lobby para sa mandatory ROTC. Walang kahit anong programa sa eskwelahan ang may pinakamalalang listahan ng abuso, ng corrupt practices, no? From verbal abuse, physical harassment, at maski pa pamamaslang, no? Doon sa kaso ni Mark Wilson Chua mula sa UST noon na nag-trigger na ang ROTC ay isa na lamang ngayong optional na component ng National Service Training Program. Kaya hindi natin yan papayagan na makabalik sa kolehiyo. Ngayon na malawak ang opposition pagdating sa college, ngayon ay tinutulak na requirement para sa graduation ng grades 11 and 12 students. Ang tanong dito ng Kabataan Party List, napag-aralan na ba natin, na-assess na ba, na-review na ang first years ng implementation ng K-12 program? Wala pa. Meron namang assessment ang National Service Training Program at ang ROTC wala. Meron ng assessment ang CAT, wala. No? So yung naging desisyon ng House of Representatives, talagang minadali, aniransyada yung pagpasa ng mandatory ROTC. Kahit pa...
Napasa na ba yan?
Napasa na
po
House. Napasa na on second reading ng House.
Plenary.
Pero, sa second reading, sa plenary. Pero it has yet to hurdle third reading. Once
Di ba parang-
resume session.
Ano na lang yun? Pro forma na lang ang third reading.
Yun nga ho eh. Kaya nababahala tayo at nananawagan na magsalita pa ang mas maraming mga magulang, mga estudyante ng kanilang maring pagtutol sa ROTC. Ang stand po ng kabataan, dapat ito ay hindi mandatory. Dapat pag-aralan
Optional
muna
na
natin. Opo, at matugunan. Matugunan muna natin yung mga ulat ng abuso at korupsyon. Kasi hanggat hindi na natutugunan yung mga reports ng abuse and corruption, mananatili talaga na maliit yung enrollment sa ROTC program. Kasi yun yung pangunahin na nagdi-discourage sa kanila from enrolling in the ROTC. Again, seeing and having a witnessed the process, no, the railroaded process of passing the mandatory ROTC. Paraan na naman to para ma-legitimize yung entry, yung pagpasok ng military sa loob ng mga mga schools. Kasi sa
Dahil
ngayon,
sila yung mag-ano dyan, administer ng program.
yes, sila yung mag-administer ng program, tapos may provision din po dun sa panukalang batas na sila ay magkakaroon ng office sa mga senior high school natin, sa mga eskwelahan. Kaya, yan po ay malaking panganib, a threat doon sa karapatan ng pamamahayag, pag-oorganisa, and association sa mga schools, lalong-lalo na ang ROTC po ay may history ng pagbubuo ng mga student intelligence network na yung mga perceived na critics, dissenters sa loob ng school, nililista yan, tapos nakakaranas ng surveillance. No? Yan ay magbibigay na naman ng daan sa napakaraming mga paglaban sa karapatang pantao sa loob ng mga eskwelahan. Kaya, ang sagot po dyan ng mga kabataan, no, protektahan natin yung democratic rights sa loob ng mga campuses, magbuo pa ng mas maraming spaces, forum, mga debates, discussion tungkol sa mga national issues. Dahil ang iniisip po dito ng mga scholar ng bayan at ng mga kabataan, yung kanyang kinabukasan. Alam niya na malaking epekto ng tax reform, ng charter change, ng drug war, sa kanyang kinabukasan. Kaya hindi pwede na magbingi-bingihan at magbulag-bulagan at hindi po natin pakialaman ang mga patakaran na ito na pinapatupad po ng Duterte administration.
Ang essence kasi ng call for the revival ng ROTC is to, sabi nila, develop yung patriotism, tsaka instill discipline among the youth. Pero how do you instill patriotism kung ang ginagawa nila is marcha ng marcha buong maghapon, tsaka pinapahirapan sila through?
Yung pagbabalik po ng pagiging makabayan, no, o yung pag-i-instill, pagpapatimo ng nationalism and patriotism sa mga estudyante, sa mga kabataan would require more than yung pagbabalik lamang ng ROTC sa mga eskwelahan. We need an overhaul of the education system na malaki ang mga pagbabago na kinakailangan. Sa ngayon kasi, yung decades-long implementation ng mga changes sa policy sa education has turned education, the goal of education, to respond to employability, ganyan. Oo. Na mag-aaral ka, mag-graduate ka ng kolehiyo para sa pagtatrabaho. Pero yung goal ng education, mas malaki pa yung layunin doon lang sa pagtatrabaho. No? Yung education, yan yung magde-develop ng mga talento mo, ng talino mo, ganyan, para magamit lahat ng mga napag-aralan mo, hindi lamang sa pagtatrabaho, ayan, kundi para sa paglilingkod sa ating bayan. Lalo-lalo na yung lugar ng mga state universities and colleges. No, paano ba niya ma-uplift yung buhay ng mamamayang Pilipino, mag-respond dun sa mga issues na matagal na kinakaharap ng ating bayan, matinding kahirapan, ayan, korupsyon. At kung mananatili na hindi siya mag-respond dun sa mga societal issues na meron tayo ngayon, that's miseducation.
There's also the financial cost ng restoration, revival ng ROTC, Ilan ng estudyante from grade 11 to 12, tapos yung nasa college, ilang millions yun. Tapos they require them to buy uniforms. Matutuwa dyan yung mga tailoring shops di ba?
Yun na, more than
so, yung 10 million additional gastos para sa mga parents ng estudyante.
More than yung cost, na babahala rin tayo kasi si Presidente mismo ang nagsabi na siya mismo nag-excuse from the ROTC by using an x-ray, no, of a man with tuberculosis na kinausap niya. So siya mismo ang nag-share na sa publiko kung paano niya tinakasan na masigawan at mabilag sa araw. Yun, kaya ang maapektuhan dito nasa 1.2 million ng mga senior high school students sa grades 11 and 12. Bago yan maipatupad, dapat pong ma-review po niya yung talaga, yung K-12 program kasi ang kailangan ng estudyante ngayon, dagdag na libro, dagdag facility, dagdag na teachers, dagdag sahod sa mga teachers, at hindi dagdag programa na naman na magpapahirap doon sa ating mga senior high school students. So may pangangailangan. Last year pa nag-commit ang Dept July 2018 that they will review the K-12 program. But hanggang ngayon po, wala pa rin resulta yung assessment ng K-12. We've also filed resolutions in Congress to upload the first years of implementation of K-12. Bagamat sa ngayon, hindi pa po nagko-convene yung dapat na oversight committee that will look into the challenges of the first years of K-12 implementation.
Doon lang ba sa grades 11 and 12? How about yung sa college? First 2 years?
Basic,
Tuloy ba yan?
according to the bill, ito po ay basic mandatory ROTC training para sa grades 11 and 12 at magiging requisite siya for graduation. Meron pong mga exemptions. Yan. Ngunit, yun naman ay, ang sinasabi din nila, hindi na lang ito military training. Pero kailangan kasi natin pagbatayan yung nandun sa mismong mga provision ng bill. At bukod pa dyan, sa tingin po natin, hanggat hindi talaga na-actionan yung mga reports ng abuse and corruption, wala pong lugar ng ROTC sa mga schools.
Ang pagkakaintindi ko yung CMT for high school. Tapos
CMT
yung
po.
ROTC is for college students.
Currently, it's for grade 10 students, yung mga CAT po. And then, ROTC for grades 11 and 12. Kaya po nag-react din yung mga child rights advocates kasi violation yun sa special protection ng children. Sa mga protocols na pinirmahan ng Pilipinas na bawal i-recruit sa reserve force ang mga minors. Ang minors po natin dito sa bansa, di ba yung mga below 18. Marami po sa ating grades 11 and 12 students, majority talaga yan are minors. Yan din yung pangunahing dahilan kung bakit tutol din yung UP Vanguard. Maski po yung UP Vanguard, tutol doon sa grades, doon sa mandatory ROTC sa grades 11 and 12. And also, yung call nila is not to bring back the old ROTC. Kasi ang nangyayari ngayon, dahil nga hindi pa natutugunan yung mga dati pang problema, nagpatuloy pa rin po yung mga abuses even if the ROTC is now optional. So there's a case in University of Mindanao, Megan State University, sa PUP, na hanggang ngayon ay wala pa pong resolution at wala pang nananagot.
So ang proposal nyo is gawing optional na lang ang ROTC?
Our call is no to mandatory ROTC, and we have a bill now
And
to
alternative
Yes.
service.
Opo. expand the NSTP program.
Alam ko
ngayon
dati
po,
merong nire-require ng estudyante na to plant tree planting, di ba?
hindi lang po sa tree planting, we can expand the
Community
scope
service.
of the National Service Training Program to include health education, human rights advocacy, promotion of culture and arts.
Environmental protection.
Yes po. Palawakin ba yung latitude na mapakita sa mga kabataan na maraming iba't ibang mga paraan para mag-contribute to nation building at maipakita yung kanilang pagmamahal sa bayan. Maganda rin po yung yung naging hugot ng mga framers ng Constitution natin when they wrote yung mga kataga sa ating Constitution that they want sa education system natin to instill, inculcate among the youth patriotism and nationalism. Ang hugot nila doon, nationalism is more than the love of our country and flag o yung pagmamahal sa bayan. Hindi lang siya loyalty sa ating flag o yung pagpapakita o yung pagsuot ng mga damit na may Pilipinas, etc. Yan ay isang expression. But more than that, ang challenge sa atin sa pagiging makabayan ay maipagtanggol ang ating bansa sa mga tyrants, sa mga dictators, at sa lahat ng gustong lumabag sa ating hegemony. Ang tanong nga po ng mga kabataan sa amin sa senior high school, gustong magturo ng pagiging makabayan, pero yung Supreme Court, sinasabi niya na constitutional yung order ng CHED, natanggalin ng Filipino subjects sa kolehiyo. Isa yan. Tapos pangalawa, yung yung medyo defeatist na stance natin pagdating sa pagtatanggol ng ating teritoryo sa West Philippine Sea. No? So, ang pagiging makabayan, kailangan natin ng hindi tatapak o yung may respeto doon sa ating pambansang soberanya at saka doon sa ating naging panalo sa West Philippine Sea.
I remember, hindi ba merong initiative yung mga a group of students na pumunta sa West Philippine Sea?
Opo.
Ano nangyari doon?
Well, malaki yung expression po ng commitment ng kabataan that we are ready and committed to defend our national sovereignty and territorial integrity. Isa po sa mga naging panawagan natin, iba-iba pong movement eh. I for one, ang hometown ko po ay sa Masinloc, Zambales. Ilang kilometro, Baho de Masinloc. Tapos, yung mga fisher folks talagang, dahil po diyang affected ng mga communities, yung kanilang livelihood. Kaya, isa po sa mga initiatives ng kabataan, paimbestigahan kung bakit sa kabila po ng bilyon-bilyon na fund na nakalaan para sa AFP modernization program, magpasa hanggang ngayon, dilapidated pa rin yung marami sa ating mga equipment, sa mga ginagamit ng ating armed forces. Kaya, nagme-merit lang na yung billions of fund na nakalaan sa AFP modernization, at dapat din po yung mapaimbestigahan. At tingnan natin kung saan napunta ang kada sentimo ng pondo na nilaan para dyan.
Ma'am, kamusta na yung nasaan na yung lowering the age of criminal liability?
Ito po ay pending ngayon sa Senado.
Sa Senado. Dito sa tingin nyo, sa inyo, doon sa grupo nyo, ba't nakasala yan?
Naku, nandito na si Senator JB. Siguro po, mas siya po ang makakasagot niya. Pero we are in support of the statement of... Suporta po kami sa statement ng ating Miss Universe, no? Ni Catriona Green. Suportado po kami at handa kami doon sa talakayan, no? Na hinihingi niya. She wants to hear from both sides, no? Gusto niyang marinig ang iba pang mga posisyon, no, ng mga grupo hinggil sa lowering ng minimum age of criminal responsibility. So, handa ang kabataan na makipagtalakayan sa kanya, no, at maibahagi hindi lang ang posisyon natin sa lowering ng NACR, kundi ang posisyon ng kabataan sa iba't ibang mga issue ng ating alipunan. Maraming salamat, Jose.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Congressman.
We'll take a break na kasi parang wala ang chief.
Okay. Okay. Sige. Okay. Salamat.
Shall we take a break na, Siguro you can get the opportunity to muna. Kumain muna.
Hello. Sige, hindi natin.
Housing. Department of Housing. Universal Department of Human Services. Siguro yung main two, kung nilapasa natin yung baby sa cancer ko doon lang. Pero yung main two, natin cancer ko doon lang. Pero most more yung dalawa na lang. Yung landmark. Si Eric ba dito? Hindi, wala. Okay, kaya ako lang yan. Ako tapos.
Typing natin kasi may isang direct sila para din yung rallies.
Okay lang. So, mahirap pa nga, no? Pero laban lang.
Okay.
Nandito na si Senator JB Ejercito, no? But we're still waiting for GMA news team to arrive. Dalawang issues ang tatakin natin kay Senator Ejercito. Una yung kaya enact lang na Universal Healthcare Bill, which is a landmark piece of legislation, ano? Kasi this is the first time in so many years na lahat ng Pilipino ay mako-cover na healthcare. Unlike in the past na yun lang miyembro ng PhilHealth na nagko-contribute on the part of the workers, saka subsidized ng gobyerno ang kalahati. Ngayon ay ang gobyerno na shoulder ng cost ng healthcare for all Filipinos regardless of age and other social status. We'll also tackle yung usapin ng creation ng Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, which is very timely and appropriate, no? Considering na malaki yung housing shortage, housing backlog, at yung presence ng mga informal settlers lalo na dito sa Metro Manila, ang nagko-contribute sa urban decay, tsaka yung naging problema sa Manila Bay, ano? Kaya ina-address ngayon ng HIHNR. Nandito na ba yung 7? Wala pa. Anyway, siguro let's start muna with yung usapin ng re-election bid ni Senator Ejercito. Ano ba yung ano nyo ngayon? You're running under what party?
Under NPC. I'm running under NPC. Dito lapit na yata yung isang bala ng NPC, so dalawa na kami. Although, mas mataas siya sa akin. Probinsyano siya eh. Ako outside the winning circle ngayon sa last survey. But I'm still confident. Meron naman tayong performance, especially with the two landmark bills that I was able to, that were recently signed by the President into law. Tsaka medyo hindi pa ako nag-political ads. I was really waiting for these two to be signed into law para at least may RA na kapag nag-ads ako. So I'm hoping na makahabol pa. Given the circumstance that I'm in, it's really a difficult situation because first time in history that two brothers are running at the same time. So mabigat talaga, naghahati talaga. Ngayon ko nararamdaman. But I'm hoping may performance and may clean track record would still be able to help me be re-elected on my second term.
Nung last election ba, anong place mo sa top 12?
Number 11, because I'm in the opposition that time and I didn't have ads in the last 2 weeks, so that affected. But on the surveys, I was consistently in the 3 to number 6 range. Kaya lang, talagang nawalan ako nung huli. So, lessons learned, kaya nga hindi muna ako nag-a-ads, sa dulo na lang ako mag-a-ads. So, hopefully mag-a-ads pa ako. So, bigat eh. Talaga napakabigat ngayon ang cost ng ads. Ay, sinasabi ko lang yung inaantay ko yung RA, pero sa total wala pa akong pang-ads. So, 900,000, parang ganun per second.
For 30 seconds, ano?
Bigat, mabigat talaga. So, you can see those who are the frontliners are the ones who have heavy political advertisements. And I'm one of the least ng talagang halos wala.
Ano yung placing mo sa sa recent surveys?
Sweet 16. No, Sweet 16.
So, ano yung basic political strategy mo to
I will just back on my, again, I'll just back on my performance. Hopefully, again, with the passage of the two landmark legislations, under my two committees, Universal Healthcare and the creation of the Department of Human Settlements. So hopefully naman I would gain a few notches, no, para bumalik ako sa winning circle. Ang problema ko talaga yung political ads na medyo nahuli, talagang those who are in the winning circle are heavy on the political advertisements, no? Kaya nga sila nakapasok. So hopefully maka-gain tayo ng ground.
Pero endorsement ni President Duterte. Were you endorsed by President
Yes, I was
Duterte?
endorsed by the President recently. I'm very lucky that out of the 11, he only has 11 preferred candidates. Dapat nga yun 10 lang eh. So, I was already one of those 10 as early as last year, no, kasama na. So, of course, it's an honor to be endorsed by the President. Siguro, alam naman niya, may performance naman tayo. At the same time, I'm very active in the Senate, actively defending the vital departments, the OTR, DOH, the ILG, PCOO, housing. So almost all the important departments I'm the one defending. So probably he knows how much I support the administration. But more importantly, we know for a fact that the President is very particular in his fight against graft and corruption. Aside from war against drugs, talagang very passionate siya rito. By endorsing me, is like saying that he knows that I have a clean track record. I don't think he will endorse me or include me in his preferred senatorial lineup if I have an issue on corruption or any scam. So, kaya kung ipapasal kay Presidente, ibig sabihin, naniniwala siya na may performance tayo at saka meron tayong malinis na track record.
How about si, Mayor Estrada? Sure ba niya na makikerry ka sa City of Manila? Makikerry yung candidacy mo sa City of Manila?
I'm not sure. He has not endorsed me yet. So, tingnan natin. Hopefully, maayos natin. Because it's an open book already that we had done a disagreement. Because I was not in favor of two of us running. Siyempre, ano na yan eh. Andiyan na yan, it's an issue. Yun lang. I just had to be consistent and stand on my principles that we only have 12 candidates, there are 12 slots, and we are running as representatives of the people and not as representatives of the family. Yun ang akin.
Sige, siguro, let's go on to our main topics. Yung Universal Healthcare Bill.
I'd rather talk about this than the petty issues kasi natatakpan itong more important issues ng mga sibling rivalry and petty issues. I think the passage of the Universal Healthcare will be affecting all Filipinos, will benefit all Filipinos, and likewise my other measure that my other pet bill, which was signed into law recently by the President, creation of Department of Human Settlements, would also benefit a lot of Filipinos, more than our sibling rivalry. So probably we can talk about this too more this morning. First of all, I'm very grateful to the President for the trust, for signing into law two landmark legislations which I feel could even become the flagship programs of this administration, of this government. The Universal Healthcare Act is already signed into law. So hopefully, if the implementing rules and regulations are drafted and completed soon, it can already be, all Filipinos can now benefit. As the name suggests, it's giving access to good quality healthcare for all Filipinos. That's the objective. So whether working or not, whether indigent, aside from the working or what we call the contributory members, the regular employees, both government and private, we will also include the non-contributory members, which comprise about 65%. These are the indigents, or the poorest of the poor, the senior citizens, and the PWDs. So ito po yung 65% na ito po yung ating isa-subsidize. No? These are the non-contributory. Some might ask, how will we fund this? We will be using present appropriations from the DOH, PhilHealth, PCSO, and PAGCOR. We will combine all of these funds together, forming one universal healthcare fund for a more strategic distribution of assistance. No? Because at present, meron pong PCSO, may PAGCOR Charity Fund, may nakakakuha sa DOH, meron sa DSWD, may PhilHealth, no? So, hindi systematic, no? There are those who can get from all, as long as pilahan niya lahat ng agencies, meron siyang connection. So, for a more strategic distribution of assistance, we will now combine all of these into under one universal healthcare fund para lahat ay mabigyan ng tamang, ng equal distribution of assistance, and we intend to increase also the benefits. So hopefully, ang isa pang aim natin is to lower the out-of-pocket expense, which stands at 55% on the average per Filipino, na in spite na meron tayong PhilHealth, PAGCOR, PCSO na tulong, 55% pa rin ang nanggagaling sa reimbursa. If you can lower it to 30%, then I think this will really make a difference, no? Medyo mas makakagaan. Last but not the least, ito, this will be a first time probably na a very important feature of the universal healthcare is that kasi ngayon ang nangyayari, you can only avail of assistance from government pag nagkasakit ka na, no? Kapag na-hospital ka na, curative tayo. So we want to strengthen the preventive side. The primary care, we have to strengthen under the universal healthcare. Laboratory tests will now be included in the coverage of PhilHealth under the universal healthcare. So, ito yung mga breakthrough.
Pati yung mga advanced, ba mga MRI, ganyan? Or CT scan?
Basic laboratory test, no? Kung ano po yung included doon, we will let the experts, hindi pa ho tapos ang IRR. So, we formed a council, the Health Technology Assessment Council, composed of specialists, experts, public health practitioners. So they are the ones knowledgeable about this. So they will be the ones to put in details kung anong covered, kung ano pong mga gamot, kung ano pong mga halimbawa MRI or whatever will be covered, kung sasama sila sa basic check-ups and laboratory test. So we just wait for the IRR. So yun po, no? Kasi
Gano'ng katagal yung
180 days ang prescriptive. Medyo matagal, 6 months, because as you know, I hope you understand, because the universal healthcare is really wide coverage. Tsaka this is the whole healthcare system, no? So we want to make sure that all the areas are covered, especially mga gray areas, no? Siyempre, hindi naman lahat ng ating batas ay perfect. So there are gray areas. So that has to be covered. So that's the reason why 180 days. So pero hopefully I'm trying to pressure DOH kung pwede nating bilisan ng kung pwede 3 months or a little more, pero wag naman sana kasi 180 days eh. We want also the Filipinos to already feel, no, the benefits of the universal healthcare.
We have 105 million Filipinos at present. Magkano yung available funds for the first year? Would you have any idea?
Yes, 257 billion is needed to fund the universal healthcare for the first year, covering all Filipinos. We will be using present appropriations of DOH, PhilHealth, as I mentioned, PAGCOR and PCSO charity funds, combining them all together into one universal healthcare fund. So I'm quite positive that the first 2 years will be covered. Kaya na ng present appropriations yan, no? Ang third and fourth year onwards, we presume that there will be an increase in patients, in beneficiaries, because siguro malalaman na ito, dadaming population. So we might need additional sources of revenue. So we are looking at sin taxes increase, tobacco or alcohol. So but third year pa naman yan. The first 2 years are already covered by present appropriations.
Yung sa sin taxes, may proposal yata din kayo na increase the tax by 90 pesos
Yes, that's
per pack.
yes, that's part of this. No, that will be part of the Universal Healthcare Fund, no, intention. So, yung akin naman kasi both health and revenue generating measure. As Chairman of Committee on Health, of course, we have to find ways on how we can lessen number of smokers. So, yun po yung health measure, and at the same time, whatever revenue we can derive from the increase will be used, of course, for primary for healthcare.
So,
Pero do you expect opposition from the tobacco lobby?
Oh,
tsaka
definitely.
yung alcohol manufacturers?
Definitely, there will be opposition. Kaya naman po, this is democratic society, so we will have to talk about it. We can always have a compromise in the process. Of course, wag lang mga basani tobacco farmers and tobacco industry, because as you know, in the sin taxes, no, dati doon sa RA 7171, 4 billion lang ang nakukuha po ng lahat ng probinsya before. But after the sin taxes, it is now at 18 billion, divided into 4 provinces. So, ang laki ho ng benefits. We just have to make sure that the farmers are the beneficiaries, na talagang sila po, sa kanila po mapunta. Kung sakali man, kung sakali man mayroong revenue po rito, we have to make sure that it goes to the farmers. And according also to the studies, hindi dapat mangamba, no? Yung production ng tobacco has remained, no? Although admittedly after the sin taxes were passed, there was a decrease in number of smokers, but production of tobacco is still the same because we have an export market. Nagkaroon tayo ng export market. So pareho pa din ho ang production. So hindi dapat mangamba, and at the same time, according to the measures that were passed before, we have to develop, no, other industries, no, for our tobacco farmers as well. So yun lang, hindi sila mapapabayaan po dito. Just in case there will be revenues, we have to make sure that it will benefit the tobacco farmers.
Kaya,
Questions about the healthcare law? Siguro, bagay matagal pa yung IRR nito, no? 6 months pa. In the interim, meron bang provisions ang law? Habang hindi pa ini-implement, ano yung may transition ba? No?
Well, we just have to wait for it. Kung ano ngayon ang at present, what the PhilHealth law is in effect. So we just have to follow that until we have already the new IRR, no? Those serve as the guidelines for the UHC. So we just have to wait for it. Kasi enhancement to, syempre marami ring pagbabago. Lalo na yung mga preventive side, primary care, improvement of health facilities, marami na-covered to lahat. Supply of human resource, health workers, so halos lahat na-cover ng universal healthcare.
Yung mga private hospitals, happy ba sa passage nito? Or
Well, I don't know with them, but
consult niyo ba sila about this?
of course, all stakeholders were consulted, and hindi naman ho lahat ng university, hindi naman lahat ng private, hindi naman lahat ng government hospitals lang. We will also use private hospitals that are accredited. No? We will have criteria kung ano po ang accredited na PhilHealth. They will be the same, especially in the geographically isolated areas, yung pong malalayo na wala hong government hospitals, kung private institutions ang nandun. We just have to use the private institution in that area. So, ang concentration muna natin, we would want to prioritize the GIDA areas, no? Yung pong, as I mentioned, geographically isolated areas. Para naman magkaroon na ng access po yung mga kababayan natin doon sa mga areas na yon for quality healthcare. Another feature pala na nakalimutan kong banggitin is the establishment of service delivery network. Part na po ito. Para meron na tayong network of health facilities, no? Na meron na rin sistema na hindi po lahat ngayon tumatakbo kaagad sa main hospitals. So kung primary care, we strengthen the preventive side, dapat doon muna, consult muna, assessment, and then before you go to the main hospital, para din hindi natin na overcrowd yung hospitals. So we will establish barangay health stations, rural health units, under the Universal Healthcare Program as part of our intent to strengthen the primary care.
No, parang yung challenge is to have 42,000 barangays with their own health facilities, di ba? Lalo na doon sa
Well,
mga
that's-
remote areas, lalo sa mga islands.
Yes, that's a challenge, especially sabi ko nga, as you mentioned, the remote islands, the isolated areas, yun po ang priority to improve, to establish the so-called service delivery network. Unahin po natin yun, kasi ito namang mga areas na covered na, medyo okay na but we want to also make sure that those areas are given attention. So, yan po ang priority.
So, how many years kaya before we can see tangible results dito sa healthcare, universal healthcare?
Well, this will be, I just have to be clear that
It will
this,
be
hindi
beyond
po,
the term of President Duterte, di ba?
hindi naman ito uhulog ng langit, no, na pagkapirma, maganda na lahat. This will be a work in progress. I hope everybody understands that in mga 5-10 years, ang target natin for us to be able to have a genuine universal healthcare. But ang immediate impact nito, everybody will now be able to benefit, no? Kapag kapag ito'y may IRR na, everybody can already avail of the benefits, no? Kaya lang yung establishment of the service delivery network, improvement of the health facilities, yung health worker supply. So, kumbaga, yung pinaka we can only siguro in 5 to 10 years at least makikita natin na medyo maganda na. It's an ambitious measure, no doubt, but at least we made the giant step towards it, no, na at least may ayos natin yung health facilities. People will already benefit dun sa supply, sa demand side. Yung sa supply side naman, improve the health facilities and establish the service delivery network. And assure the supply of health workers. Kasi kailangan lahat po ito But it will be a work in progress, as I've said. But immediately, syempre yung impact dun, all Filipinos will stand to be ready to be able to get avail of the assistance from government.
Okay. Question?
Sir, Mike Biago from BZXL. Sir, any comment, Senator JV, dun sa sinasabi po ng Department of Health na parang hindi pa sila handa to somehow implement this universal health care? Dahil sa pondo, maganyan na po.
Parang wala, they are already drawing the IRR. And of course, there will be adjustments because we expect an influx of more patients. And the DOH knows that we are already, the first 2 years already funded using present appropriations. So, palagay ko hindi po
Yung mga hospital daw po sir, yung kahandaan ng ating mga hospital, particularly in government hospitals.
That's why we fought for the Health Facilities Enhancement Program, no? That was slashed for 2019 during the budget deliberations. Dapat wala yun, that's 30 billion. So that's why I was really vocal and really fought for it to be retained because through the years, improvement of hospital facilities has been very evident through the HFEP fund. Expansion, rehabilitation, improvement of upgrade of equipment. Kaya nabalik naman natin yan. Good news is that the Senate was able to restore at least half, 16 billion. At least yung mga present ongoing projects will be completed tsaka magagamit na. At least tuloy-tuloy yung paghanda ng facilities. Especially that we are about to implement the Universal Healthcare Program. Kung naputol yun, talaga problema. Kasi yung mga ongoing projects, maantala yun. Kahit na matapos yung infra, wala naman laman. So, that's why we fought for that. Lahat yan konektado. And definitely the HF fund will affect the implementation of Universal Healthcare Fund. So, hopefully by next year, matapos na lahat ng ongoing health facilities that are under construction.
Sir, maraming hindi nakakaalam ng view nyo. Gagamitin nyo po ba sa ads nyo?
Well, bakit naman po hindi? Also as part of the public service, ako naman po ang chair, hindi lang ako author, I was the one who sponsored. So,
para rin
As part of the
makaalam.
public service na kailangan din malaman na lahat na there is good news also that will be coming their every Filipino's way. And this is a landmark bill. So we just have to let the people know. Probably kasi yun ang mahirap information dissemination. So given this chance and opportunity, why not? No? If it can we will be able to disseminate the information all over, mas maganda para mas maging handa rin sila that in a few months time they can already avail of the services when the IRR right now is being drafted.
There is a national organization of nurses, no, Senator, yung FAO, and they pointed out that because of that new law, magkukulang daw ang mga nurse sa Pilipinas kasi daw mga nurses natin, they only get 200 pesos a day salary. Some of them are volunteers. They work for below minimum, no? Will they be benefited by the new law?
Definitely, that's why we included the
Services.
supply of health workers, no? Yung development of the supply of health workers. That's why I mentioned that this will be a work in progress. Hindi po ito talagang magic na lahat maayos na. Because of the problems that as you mentioned, yung part of it, as you mentioned, yung health workers, yung supply, kasama din po yan. That's why we will be also mandating that health workers should serve at least 3 years. Pero they will be compensated as part of their service to the community. But they will be compensated. Isa pa sa pinaglaban ho natin, aside from the HFEB fund, is the HRH fund or the Human Resource for Health. Ito po yung pinapansweldo sa augmentation ng Department of Health, no, for health workers. Para nga doon sa mga health workers in areas, no, na wala, mga isolated and others, so midwives, nurses, and even doctors, that's about 6 billion or 7 billion. Kaya yung mga nangangamba na nurses at other health workers na bawalan silang trabaho, hindi na po sila dapat matakot. Kasi nga po, na-restore na rin po ng Senado yung pong Human Resource for Health or HRH budget. So, that's part of our augmentation sa DOH operations. Na-restore din po yan. No? Kaya nga, ano yun I had an insertion in the past, in the recent budget, no? Deliberation, pataas yung akin, 24 billion. Yan po yung Health Facilities Enhancement Program and the Human Resource for Health. So, one for health facilities, for the infra and equipment, and one for human resource or health workers. So, ako matitindigan ko po yung insertion ko because it's really institutional.
Okay, let's move on to the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development. I remember during the Marcos era, meron ng Ministry of Human Settlements na hindi lang daw basic needs of clothing, food and shelter, pero parang 11 ano yun. Needs.
Yes. Apo.
Anong nangyari? Anong naging basis nitong yung proposed bill to integrate all this?
Well, probably as a result of the breaking up the Ministry of Human Settlements then into 6 key shelter agencies, wala na dinisolve yung ministry. Ginawang 6 key shelter agencies, NHA, HGC, Ibig, National Home Mortgage, HLURB, Socialized Housing, so 6 po yan. So after 30 years of under the Housing Urban Development Coordinating Council or HUDC, we have seen what kind of a failure the housing program under this setup is. We have 6 key shelter agencies, each having their own programs, each having their own boards. Kanya-kanya silang board, kanya-kanya silang programa. So, kanya-kanya rin ang proyekto without synchronization, without coordination. That's why probably we have housing projects that are not complete. May walang kuryente, may walang tubig, malayo sa kabiasnan, malayo sa transport hub, walang bahay, walang walang educational facility, walang health facility. So, due to based on our investigation under my committee the past 6 years, yan po yung mga nakita natin. Common problem, substandard quality, second, location, third, yung production is low, no? Kaya nga may backlog tayo. And to make matters worse, kahit na meron tayong production 200,000 a year, yung occupancy. Like for example, the AFP, PNP Uniform Personal Housing, yung 60,000 units, 8% ang occupancy, ayaw tinhan. Yung pong Yolanda, matagal na, mabagal pa, nung nadala, nung natapos, parang less than 50% ang occupancy. It's probably because of the setup. So we are hoping that under one full-fledged department, all the 6 key shelter agencies will now move as one, at least be coordinated, at least meron ng kumpas. As mentioned kanina, kaya nga Department of Human Settlements, it's controversial, sinasabi, bakit binabalik yung Marcos era? Hindi po. Because we want this not only to be the construction of house. Kasi pag sinabi ng Department of Housing, parang nasa isip, construction lang ng bahay. So we want this more encompassing, we want this more complete. Dapat merong livelihood, dapat merong transport, dapat merong education, health. It should be a community building or township concept ang ating dapat ginagawa para hindi na maulit yung mga problema. Ano nangyayari ngayon? Yung mga informal centers ng Metro Manila, ipipwersahin natin lumipat kung saang probinsya. Di ba? Ipipwersahin natin dahil walang hanap buhay, malayos na transportation hub, walang facilities. After a few months, babalik din. Mag-i-squat ulit. Iiwanan. So, hindi natin nabawasan yung backlog. Nadadagdan pa. So, that has been the vicious cycle for the past 30 years. So, that's the reason why I pushed for a full-fledged department of human settlements to finally end this vicious cycle by coming up with a better housing program.
There was a suggestion way back to solve the problem of informal settlers na gamitin ang idle government lands para magtayo ng mga mass socialized housing. Ano ba ang
Well,
I
that
would
was
support
part of the housing summit that the Senate and House committees held a few years ago. Para nga po maiwasan na po yung mga paglalagay ng mga programa, mga pabahay doon sa mga malalayong lugar na wala sa kabihasnan. If there are government idle lots that can be used for socialized housing, for in-city housing, might as well use them. No? We have to redevelop. Halimbawa, yung mga informal settler communities, kung papayag sila mag-redevelop, for example, may 5 hectares dyan, if we can pumayag yung residents, if we redevelop, we put medium-rise housing, out of the 5 hectares, kung malagay po natin sila, for example, sa 2 hectares na ating medium-rise housing, we have 3 hectares free for development. So, maraming pwedeng gawin eh. But we cannot go on like this, that walang direction. So we are hoping that the creation of the Department of Human Settlements would put some sense of direction in the housing program. Saka dapat naman kasi yan, meron tayong master plan eh, na wala tayo nun eh. Dapat kung saan ang transportation, kung saan dadaan ng infrastructure, syempre nandun ang growth development areas. Kung saan dadaan ng infra, nandun ang growth areas, industrial parks, commercial areas, business district, dapat yung housing naka-integrate. Hindi tulad ngayon. Basta maglalagay lang kung sa pinakamura, doon bibili. Kahit nasa tuktok ng bundok. Di ba? Walang kabihasnan, yun ang ginagawa. Which is wrong. Kaya nga, failure ang housing program the past 30 years. So, we want to remedy all of these problems of the housing through the Department of Human Settlements. So, another landmark bill.
Sige, question.
Senator JV, ano pong rekomendasyon ninyo dun sa sinasabing mababa ang occupancy rate ng ating mga babahay na ginawa ng National Housing Authority? Hindi tinutuluyan, hindi nililipatan ng marami sa mga supposedly na may lalagay like mga pulis, mga bumbero. So, kung hindi nila yan okupahan, what will happen to this nakatiwangwang na mga babahay po nito?
Well, what will happen, because the past administration, ang nangyari dyan, they did not involve the stakeholders, which are the uniformed personnel. They want, magandang intention, to have a housing program for the uniformed personnel. Problema, hindi naman nila in-involve sa planning. Diba? They use the informal settler model, which is 24 square meters. They built 60,000 units, 20 billion cost. Tapos, nung natapos ang iba, nung pinakita sa AFP, PNP, BJMP, BFP, abay nagulat. Ayaw tirhan. Diba? Kasi, buhay nila, sakripisyo nila, binabawasan mo sweldo nila, hindi naman yan subsidize eh. Yung model na yun, halos pang subsidize yun, pang informal sectors, halos binibigay yun eh. Ito, binabawasan mo yung sweldo nila eh. Tapos ititira mo sa ganon. So, 8% ang occupancy. So, what we did, 8% lang. Yeah. So, what we did, para hindi masayang, hindi siya maging white elephant, we gave authority to the National Housing Authority to redistribute the present projects to willing takers and qualified beneficiaries. Dapat qualified. So, local government units, employees, teachers, whoever in that locality, kung sino employees, para at least may bawi. For the AFP, PLP, BJP, BFP housing, we now doubled. Yung 24, ang minimum now is 40 square meters. That's the new guidelines. We will have 3 models to choose from. Depende sa ranko, depende sa capacity to pay. At least meron na silang choice. So at present, yung mga initially, yung mga bagong projects under the new administration, under the new NHA, ginagawa pa lang, sold out na. So, hindi tulad doon, natapos na, ayaw pang binterhan. So, I'm very positive na that reforms started prior to the passage of the Department of Human Settlements ay magpapatuloy kasi nakinig naman tong present leadership based on our recommendations in the past 6 years na sa investigation.
So
Nakinig
yung
naman sila.
massive housing projects, especially doon sa Yolanda, hindi raw matirhan o dahil sa standard ng mga ahabulin nyo ba yung mga contractors doon? Yung mga...
Yes, of course, that involves government funds. Siyempre, hindi naman pwedeng bilyon-bilyon na wala kung sakaling meron tayong nakita. So that we are not being vindictive, but we want to make sure that this does not happen again. I have already prepared a committee report recommending filing of charges against past NHA officials and subcontractors, no, in collusion, no. Yun nga lang, problema ko kung mapapirma ko lahat kasi may mga ilang natatakot pumirma kasi may mga kilala rin sila doon nakaraan. We'll see. Hopefully some members will sign, but I have already finished the committee report, no, recommending filing of charges. Yolanda, Sento, Pablo, and other rehabilitation projects.
Gaano kabilis set up yung bagong department?
Siguro same because all the key shelter agencies will still be same, will be the attached agency now.
Program,
so they are now also drafted IRR, so hopefully 180 days as well. Meron tayong full-fledged department.
Kasi yung DICT, for instance, parang it's taking them a while to, di ba? To set up shop, tapos magkakaroon pa ng bagong leadership tapos ng...
Well, we'll see. We'll do our best, no? As, at least on our part, on our end, we have already done our part, no? By passing the legislation, creating this. Hopefully, matapos ka agad yung itong mag-set up ng bagong department so that we can start already with the reforms that are being instituted right now that will be continued by the new department. Sabay-sabay po yan because these are 2 landmark, hopefully under these 2 landmark bills that this would become flagship projects, programs of the administration. Isa sa housing, isa sa healthcare.
Sir, last na on my part. Sir JB, kindly enlighten us sa pangamba lagi at lagi sinasabi ng mga militante na magbubunsod daw po ito sa tanggalan ng maraming mga kawanidyan, particularly sa National Housing Authority, dahil na parang napaliit na yung kanilang mga functions.
That's a product of their imagination. Problema sa kanila, makakontra na makakontra eh. Di ba? Wala tayong tatanggalin. All the agencies will be the same. Alam naman natin mangyayari eh. Why will we remove some employees or other agencies? Same agencies will continue to function the way they are functioning. We will just put them all under one roof para meron ng responsableng tao, meron ng accountable, at meron ng direction. So, nakakatawa lang. Dati, sila'y umaangal, pangit yung pabahay, kung ano-ano pang angal. Ngayon na nagtayo tayo ng Department of Human Settlements para ipakita ng gobyerno na seryoso tayong ayusin ang problema pabahay. Ngayon, protesta pa rin. Eh, ano bang gusto talaga? Di ba? Hindi na natin malaman kung ano. Wala nang kaligayahan eh. Di ba? Sorry but ginagawa nga natin to remedy all the problems that have been sprouting in the past 30 years. Wala nang kaligayahan eh.
GMA.
Lahat na lang gagawa ng issue. Nakakatawa lang. Di ba? Pagbigyan nyo naman, give chance.
Ano yung...
These are all reforms that we are instituting. Let's give chance for, bago natin punahin, bigyan mo muna ng 1-2 years. Yung pagpalpak, di sige. Make adjustments. Pero huwag naman yung umpisa pa lang. Meron na kagad hindi pa nga nagsisimula. Sinusulat pa na IRR. Mag-ano na kagad. Puprotesta. Noon, sasabihin, pangit ang uri na pabahay. Ngayon, nagtayo department para gumanda ang pabahay. Protesta pa rin. Wala na. Hindi na natin alam kung ano gusto.
Parang, I would imagine yung flagship program ng to be established na department, parang i-extend mo yung build sa housing, di ba? And it would involve not just yung DPWH, kundi yung Dept and other agencies na magkano talaga.
At saka ngayon, now that we have a full-fledged department of human settlements na cabinet level, mas maganda ng coordination. Ka-level niya na yung Department of Transportation, Department of Public Works. So let's do it the proper way na kung saan dadaan ng mga infrastructure, mag-i-establish ng growth areas for sure. Nandun dadaan ng mga industrial parks, business district, commercial areas. So doon mo rin lalagay integrate yung housing. Hindi tulad nga ngayon na chapsuy. Talaga kung saan pinakamura ang lupa, yun ang hahanapin. Kahit na wala sa Kabiasnan, nasa Mandupano, wala tuloy tumitira. We are wasting money the past decades by coming up with housing programs that are not being occupied. Dati masyado silang conscious sa production. Oo nga, may production. Problema, ayaw naman tiran.
May kasalanan ba dito ang NHA?
May kasalanan. It's because of the system. Mali yung sistema. We have 6 key shelter agencies again doing their own thing. Each with their own board. Diba? Kanya-kanya. So, this is our solution that we think we need to combine all of these 6 key shelter agencies under one roof.
Okay, we just about reach yung end of the program. Let's just magkano tayo? Final statement on these two issues.
Well,
Call on the public to support yung
I'm very thankful. First of all, I'd like to thank the President for the trust for signing into law these 2 landmark bills, creation of the Department of Human Settlements and universal health care. Siyempre, ako'y happy. Masaya ako probably this is the best week of in my career as a legislator. I was able to pass significant measures before, but having passed these 2 landmark bills, which can become the flagship program of government in the coming years, talagang game changer, no? In the healthcare system, game changer in the housing program. So, of course, I'm quite happy. I feel that this is my as a legislator, these 2 are my biggest achievements, and it came one day after another, no? Halos back to back. So quite happy because wag na natin problemahin itong election. Basta yung what was my campaign promise in 2013. Pangako ko noon, gusto ko guminhawa buhay ng ating mga kababayan. Lahat naman nangangako, but at least by being able to pass these two landmark legislation, I would say that I was able to fulfill that promise. So, syempre, ano na lang sa ating mga kababayan, please wait for the completion of the IRR. Siguro in a few months time, sandali na lang po, kunting intay na lang, lahat po ng Pilipino ay magbe-benepisyo lalo sa universal healthcare. Sinusulat na po ang mga implementing rules and regulations. So, malapit na po. No? At least, magandang balita, ito po ay batas na. So, dalawa po ito. Again, universal healthcare and creation of the Department of Human Settlements. So, I'd like to thank everybody for the support, sa lahat ng nagdasal, sa lahat ng nag-antay, sa lahat ng stakeholders, sa lahat ng tumulong, sa mga espesyalista, no? Hindi naman natin kayang gawin lahat to no? Without the help of the experts, the specialists. So maraming salamat. I'm very, very happy, no? With the recent developments, no? And I'd like to thank the President again for the trust, no? For signing these two landmark bills into law. Maraming salamat.
On that note, I would like to thank Senator JB Ejercito for coming over and explaining yung rationale and future ng dalawang bills na in-sponsor niya in the Senate. Thank you very much, and
Thank you.
we hope to see you again sometime.
Sana. Maganda to, landmark naman talaga.